And now it's summing up the whole project for me, including all of the cost. It will default to you as the buyer with your address information. Then you would put in the owner information. The city, state, and zip code for the building is going to be based off the zip code that I entered, and that is locked in since the building codes are already set to that. If you are just doing this for a budget number and you're not actually using this quote to go to the street, the only thing you really have to put in here is the drawing delivery method. CBC defaults to electronic drawings, and you'll need to put in your email that the drawings will go to. From there, I can say complete process. You can select how many drawings that you need, whether it be 1 or 3. If it's electronic, it's just going to be 1 set. If you want to add any additional money, top money or finder's fee is typically used if somebody has referred a building sale to you, so you can build money into these 2 fields as well. I'm going to say complete process. At this point, it's taking all of your building information that you've done and it's wrapping that up into a pretty package so that you have a price. The great thing about this contract is that you can actually see what you've put in on the contract itself. For your login, it will have your logo, your address information, and if you put in the customer job site information, it will populate that in this job site information field. To walk you through the contract, the easiest way to show you is to do this load PDF. So I'm going to select on load PDF so that I can walk you through the contract. Again, the top information is going to be any address information. You can see the codes and loads, building specifications, and it does it by wall. So you've got your width, length, heights, and then the backside wall is shown next to the backside wall. Left end wall is shown next to the left end wall, right, and the front side wall as well. If you've got wainscot, it'll show it here down in the bottom where I showed the panel break with trim. Then you've got your building panel and trim section. And then it's going to show you some basic sketches of what the building has designed. These can be downloaded, and we'll show you that here in just a minute, but it also gives you a price. This is an editable PDF, so if there's something on here that you want to change, you have the option to do that. Our program has recorded the original. For this particular building with the left end wall open, I'm going to assume, because I left this, you'll see up here in the codes and loads that I showed this as a closed building. So the E for enclosed. So this, I'm assuming that something is going to be built on this left end wall. All right, back to my estimate. So next, we're going to go through how to modify a quote or how to copy a quote. So if we wanted to do different options on this building that we just priced, we would still go to create a quote. And at the top, you'll notice we start on the specs tab. If I wanted to copy the one that I just did and change it, I would go to setup. So I'd click on this one for setup. Under the quote ID, I would select the last quote that I just did and say next. And then I want to call this a revision 1. It's going to hold all of my basic building information. One thing to note, if you are changing the width or the length, you need to start a new quote. The program is going to mess up. So you'll notice we went through that in a matter of minutes, so that if you are going to make a major geometry change, you'd want to make sure and start a new quote. In this particular case, I'm going to change some framed openings or something on the advanced design tab. So it's still held the 40 by 60 by 16. I'm going to say next. It will take me back to the codes and loads. Please note that it does not hold any prior code and load information that you may have changed. So in this particular case, I want to see what the difference in a 1 pound and a 3 pound collateral load is, and I'm going to change it to exposure C. If I had changed it to exposure C on my first quote, again, it does not hold that. It wants you to verify the codes and loads every single time you enter a building. So make sure when you copy a quote, you do verify code and load information once again. I'll say next. So in this particular case, they decided they only wanted a framed opening on the front side wall and not the back. So I'm going to click on the back side wall, and I can go in this bay and tell it to remove the opening and say done. I'm going to go next to take me to the advanced design tab, and again go through all of these tabs it should hold any changes that you made. So it held that I'm doing an angle with base notch. I believe that we made some changes on the girt offset. So yeah, verified that it held that as well. So it held my 10-inch purlins. On my building panel, this time I'm going to run it with 26 gauge PBR for the roof and say next. Again, now it's going to go back and reprice the shell building for me with the changes that I've made. But again, this is still a 40 by 60 by 16, and I'm giving the customer a couple of different options to help their pricing. So we say continue. Again, we're back to the accessory tab. Note that it did not hold the accessories. So if you selected any accessories, you would need to go back in and put those in again. So let's see, I want to do one walk door this time with a lever lock, a pre-assembled door. And we're going to change the roof to signature 200. And say next. Again, it's going to take just a minute because it's combining all of the data that you've re-entered. I'll go in and tell it that I'm going to do electronic drawings. And again, I don't want to enter all the address information if I'm just doing a budget number, because that does not hold when you redo the quote. So once you're ready to buy it, you can go in and fill all of this in. But if you're just doing a number, then you don't need to put it in for this part. Make sure when you do this load PDF that you save these PDFs. You can download them, so you can print them. You can also save it. So make sure you save these somewhere to your computer so that you can go back to them as needed. You can also go back. So I'm just going back up to the tab at the top. And you can see I'm back to where the different options are. So if I want to view the quotes that I've done, I can go quotes and view past quotes, and it'll show me these two that I just did. If I wanted to download the contract again, I can see the contract as well. The next tab over is the Ideas tab. So if I want a full set of the drawings that show up on the contract, but a little bit bigger, you can do a create elevation drawings. So I went to Ideas, create elevation drawings. I can select the project that I want to see the drawings on. So I highlight the quote and say show building drawings. From here, you hold your control key down on the keyboard, and if you want to just do an anchor bolt layout and maybe the elevation pages, you can just select those and maybe a cross section, and then tell it to download as PDF. And it's going to give you a set of drawings that you can send to your customer for review. So again, that's under Ideas, Create Elevation Drawings. Next, under Ideas, so for the quote that sent me, or that showed me warnings, and I need to get it checked by my account manager. From there, you're going to go to Ideas. Okay, so over on the right, you'll see where it saved the elevation drawings into your download. I can open the file. Note it is showing these all as individual. You'll need to save these out of your downloads folder. So let's just say I'm going to save them to a desktop folder. So I'm going to copy all of these drawings and move them over to my desktop. Once I move them out of the downloads folder, I can then do a combined PDF. So I highlight the top one, highlight the bottom one, and tell it to combine the files in Acrobat, because it downloads it as individual pages. So it's showing me all the different drawings. I'm a little OCD, so I typically am going to put the drawings together, go to the front, left, back, right, and then the frame cross section. I'm going to combine these. I'm going to save them. And these are going to be brown sketches. My customer is brown. All right, but then I have a multi-page PDF that I can send to the customer. All right. So going back to here, so the quote that we had that had the errors, and I want to send this one into my account manager to review. The way you do that is go to Ideas, Ideas Plus. I'm going to select the quote that had the error, which was the first one that I did, and I'm going to say Start Process. At this point, the program, again, to still save the shipping information, it does want you to put owner information in here. So Brown, if I don't know the address, it's not a big deal to put TBD here. I can copy and paste the city, state, and zip code, shipping information. And then I'm going to tell it that the job site is the same here and it's electronic only. In the special request here, I'm going to say, please check errors and price R38 insulation for roof and walls. So I'm giving specific direction to my account manager on what I need changed for this quote in order for me to finalize a price. You also have the option here to select file. So if you have drawings or sketches that you want to send into your account manager, you can go in here and say select files and navigate to where your drawings are. So if I go to my desktop and let's just say I have a hanger example, I can attach that file as well. Okay, from here I've entered all of the information and I'm going to say complete process. At this point, it's going to take the quote that I did and it's going to wrap it up and it will send it into your assigned account manager to make the modifications. Typically, you're going to see a reply back with a corrected price within 24 to 48 hours. If you do not hear from your account manager within 24 hours, please double check and make sure that it went. So right now, when it says processing, when you see thank you for your interest in our services, products, and quote request, we'll contact you soon. That tells you that that quote was sent in to the inside team for additional pricing. Okay, also underneath ideas, there is a create 3D drawing for selected quote. So we can create a 3D drawing as well. So idea support, I would typically stay away from idea support would be if you only have errors and you don't need any changes. But from a response perspective, the key things that I would use on this particular tab would be your create elevation drawings to send to your customer and the ideas plus, which is to send something in where you need a modification made that you cannot do yourself. The reports is for the leaders of the company if they want to see how many quotes have been run by type or volume. There's a report section there as well. Under Ideas Resources, here we've got a manual that shows you how to create a quote, Ideas Plus, offer to purchase, the building system. So you can either reference back to this video for training purposes, or if you have a particular question about a building, you can go to one of these guides and it'll give you the option of some basic training material for buildings. When you're ready to purchase the building, underneath Ideas, there is offer to purchase. The admin for your company is the one that has the option to offer to purchase. And so basically you go into offer to purchase and you'd select the quote and you can send it in. Your account manager will always call and review the quote with you and review the details and send you a CBC contract to sign. Thank you for attending today. If you have any other questions, we're here to help. Please contact your account manager for assistance.